King Arthur is a figure shrouded in the mists of time, often depicted as a legendary 5th-century king who led the Britons against Saxon invaders. His story and the wider tapestry of Celtic legends are rich with themes of chivalry, magic, and heroism that have captured the imagination of countless generations. The introduction to King Arthur and Celtic legends serves as the gateway to understanding the fascinating blend of history and myth that characterizes this enigmatic ruler. Significance of King Arthur lies in his embodiment of the ideal ruler and the timeless quest for justice and unity. His legend has become a cornerstone of British cultural history, symbolizing a golden age of nobility and courage. The tales of Camelot, the Knights of the Round Table, and the search for the Holy Grail continue to inspire literature, art, and film, offering insights into the human condition and the perpetual struggle between good and evil. Two notable examples illustrate the enduring appeal of King Arthur and Celtic legends. The first is Thomas Malory's Le Morte d'Arthur, a seminal work that has shaped most modern representations of the Arthurian legends. It combines chivalric romance with historical narrative, providing a definitive account that blends myth and reality. The second example is the archaeological site of Tintagel Castle in Cornwall, believed by some to be the birthplace of King Arthur. This real-world location illustrates how legend and history intertwine, drawing tourists and scholars alike to explore the connections between myth and reality. There are diverse opinions about King Arthur's historical existence. Some scholars argue that he is purely mythical, while others suggest he might have been a composite of several historical figures. This debate underscores the complexities of interpreting ancient legends. Additionally, challenges arise with the differing interpretations of his story across cultures and time periods. For instance, some view Arthur as a symbol of resistance against invasion, while others see him as a reflection of medieval European ideals. King Arthur's legend influences other aspects of Celtic culture and mythology, demonstrating how stories can transcend their origins to become universal symbols. The themes of heroism, loyalty, and destiny found in Arthurian legends resonate throughout Celtic myths, emphasizing cultural values and societal ideals. In exploring King Arthur and Celtic legends, we gain insight into how narratives shape our understanding of history and identity, weaving together fact and fiction to create a tapestry rich in meaning and significance. The heading, Historical Context, the 5th-Century Britons, refers to understanding the socio-political and cultural backdrop of Britain during the time when King Arthur is believed to have lived. This period, roughly around the 400s to 500s AD, was marked by significant upheaval and transformation as Roman rule in Britain was coming to an end, leaving a power vacuum that various tribal groups sought to fill. The significance of this context to the legend of King Arthur lies in the chaotic and fragmented nature of post-Roman Britain. During this era, the Britons were struggling against invading Saxons, Picts, and other groups. The tales of King Arthur likely emerged as a symbolic representation of the hope for unity and resistance against these external threats. The yearning for a heroic leader who could unify the tribes and fend off invaders resonates with the historical circumstances of the time, suggesting that the Arthurian legend may have been inspired by actual leaders or chieftains who played a key role during this tumultuous period. One example illustrating this point is the Battle of Bedon Hill, often attributed to King Arthur in legend. While historical evidence is scant, the battle itself represents a significant moment where the Britons reportedly halted Saxon expansion. Another example is the concept of the Dux Bellorum, a term referenced in some historical texts, implying there could have been a leader or warlord uniting various tribes, possibly reflecting the kernel of truth behind the Arthur legend. Some historians and scholars, such as Geoffrey Ashe, Tish, suggest that the Arthurian legend might be based on a composite of multiple leaders, or an idealized figure rather than a single historical person. This view supports the idea of Arthur as a symbol rather than a strictly historical figure. Conversely, skeptics argue that the lack of concrete evidence makes it challenging to affirm Arthur's historicity with certainty. They suggest that his story is a mythological construct, influenced by folklore and literary embellishments over centuries. This historical context of the 5th century Britons not only anchors the Arthurian legend in a specific time and place, but also influences the broader narrative of Celtic identity and resistance. It connects to other aspects of the main topic by providing a foundation from which the themes of unity, leadership, and cultural resilience emerge, vital elements that continue to captivate audiences and preserve the enduring legacy of King Arthur. The legend of Excalibur and the Knights of the Round Table is a central element in the mythology surrounding King Arthur, the iconic figure of Celtic legends believed to have lived in the 5th century. Excalibur, often depicted as a magical sword bestowed upon Arthur, symbolizes divine kingship and authority. The sword, sometimes said to have been given to Arthur by the Lady of the Lake, underscores the mystical and otherworldly aspects of Arthur's rule. Meanwhile, the Round Table represents not just a piece of furniture, but an ideal of chivalric equality and camaraderie among Arthur's knights. It is a symbol of Arthurian justice and fellowship, where no one knight holds precedence over another, reflecting a utopian vision of leadership and unity. These elements are crucial to understanding King Arthur's lore, as they emphasize the blend of mythical power and moral idealism that defines Arthurian legend. Excalibur reinforces Arthur's legitimacy as a ruler sustained by supernatural favor, while the Round Table exemplifies the aspirational values of chivalry, loyalty, and bravery that are central to the Arthurian narrative. Together, they contribute to the enduring appeal and relevance of the Arthurian tales across generations. In terms of real-world applications, Excalibur has come to represent the concept of rightful sovereignty and leadership in literature and popular culture. For instance, J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings draws on the idea of a rightful king with a legendary sword, influencing characters like Aragorn. Similarly, the concept of the Round Table has been adopted in modern leadership and organizational theory, emphasizing collaborative leadership and decision-making processes. Supporters of Arthurian legend view Excalibur and the Round Table as enduring symbols of moral authority and collective governance, stressing their inspirational role in promoting ideals of justice and equality. However, some critics argue that these elements of the legend are purely allegorical, with little basis in historical fact. Moreover, debates continue about the historical existence of King Arthur and his legendary possessions, with some viewing them as purely mythological constructs. The legend of Excalibur and the Round Table influences other aspects of Arthurian lore, such as the quest for the Holy Grail and the tragic fall of Arthur's kingdom, Camelot. Together, they weave a complex tapestry that explores themes of heroism, betrayal, and the quest for a just society. Ultimately, these legendary elements highlight both the timeless nature of the Arthurian myths and their capacity to adapt and resonate across cultural and historical contexts. Celtic mythology, a rich tapestry of oral traditions, gods, heroes, and magical creatures, profoundly influences the Arthurian legends, intertwining with historical narratives to shape the mythos of King Arthur. Rooted in ancient Celtic traditions, these myths offer a spiritual and cultural backdrop that enhances the legendary status of Arthur, often depicted as a warrior king with supernatural allies and powers. The significance of Celtic mythology in Arthurian legends lies in its ability to transform a potentially historical figure into a symbol of Celtic identity and continuity, especially during times when the Britons faced external threats. One key example of this influence is the character of Merlin, whose origins echo the druidic figures of Celtic lore. Merlin embodies the mystical wisdom and prophetic abilities attributed to ancient Celtic druids, serving as a pivotal advisor to Arthur. Another example is the motif of the sword in the stone, reminiscent of magical weapons in Celtic tales that grant legitimacy to their wielder, symbolizing divine right and heroic destiny. Scholars and enthusiasts often argue that the blending of Celtic mythology with historical elements in the Arthurian legends serves to preserve Celtic cultural heritage, providing a narrative that can adapt across generations. This synthesis enriches the stories, allowing them to resonate with audiences through themes of heroism, loyalty, and the supernatural. However, this blending of myths and history presents challenges, especially when attempting to discern the historical accuracy of King Arthur's existence. Critics argue that the embellishment of legends with mythical elements may obscure the true historical figure, if he existed at all, leading to debates among historians and literary scholars. Additionally, the romanticized portrayal of Celtic elements can sometimes overshadow or simplify the complexities of Celtic spirituality and societal structures. Despite these challenges, the influence of Celtic mythology on Arthurian legends serves as a crucial link connecting Arthur to a broader cultural and mythological context. It enhances the depth of the narrative, contributing to the enduring appeal of King Arthur as a semi-mythical figure whose tales continue to captivate the imagination. Moreover, this integration of mythology influences other aspects of the legends, such as the themes of chivalry and the quest for the Holy Grail, intertwining spiritual symbolism with the heroic journey. Through this lens, the Arthurian legends become a dynamic framework, reflecting both the historical Britons' struggle for sovereignty and their rich mythological heritage.